Is that your virtual background behind you?
Oh, stop. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the post World Championship hangout. We have hangouts every Monday and Friday night.
Background behind you.
Oh, stop. Uh-oh. Somebody's got a window open. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the post World Championship hangout. We have hangouts every Monday and Friday night.
Background behind you.
Oh, is that you, John? Uh-oh. Somebody's got a window open. Nope. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the. Nope, it was me. Got so many damn windows open. Okay, Zoom, where are you? There we are. Okay, we gotta go open and pull that back. The link is posted and at the bench. I posted the link before I got the show running. Everybody's quick to jump the gun. Anyway, welcome, John.
Good to be here.
Uh-oh. Let me turn this down a little bit. Okay, I've got so many buttons in different spots. Well, did you enjoy the coverage of the World Champs?
I did. I thought you did a good job.
Yeah,
It wasn't easy either, I can tell.
no, it wasn't. Every time that I pan the camera up just a little bit off the pilot, it would go out of focus, and then there'd be a complaint.
Oh, you had autofocus.
Yeah, there's no way to turn it off on iPhone.
Yeah, that's true.
So the only thing I could do is complain to Apple.
Yeah, yeah. Well, people are getting exactly what they're paying for anyway. What the heck, you know?
Yeah, some guy said, you need to buy a new camera. Hey, I'll be happy to use it. Send it to me.
Yeah, right. This cat's bound determined to get right in the middle of my face.
Let me send a message to somebody to let them know that we're on. I guess YouTube's not giving notifications.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you got a notification because you were on Stun Hanger.
Right.
I'm gonna have to not do that. I'm gonna have to start the stream first before I post that. Okay. There we are. Link. Link in at the bench for tonight's meeting. And Al Ferraro. The link is posted at the bench for tonight's meeting. Okay.
If a fellow by the name of Barbie, his last name, I think it was Barbie, shows up, I need to answer a question he had last week or last meeting.
Yeah, no problem. Went out today and bought myself a buffer.
Oh, yeah? Is that what that red thing is there under your arm?
Yeah.
Wow, that's industrial grade.
Yeah, well, hardly freight. I'm using it for polishing mufflers and spinners and stuff.
Gotcha. Just about right for that.
I think it's going to work for carbon fiber landing gear too.
Interesting. How's it look?
Looks like I got PVA on it. I gotta get the PVA off of it first. There's Stuart.
Yes. Well, that buffer will make your life a little easier.
Yeah, too bad I can't buff my airplane with it.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice? At one time, Harbor Freight sold a small buffer, had about a 4-inch mitten on it, 4-inch diameter buffing wheel. And I got one somewhere, and I don't know where it is. I haven't been able to find it. But that was really good for buffing out an airplane.
Yeah, I got the snap-on 4-inch buffer.
Oh yeah, probably a much better piece of machinery.
Well, much more expensive, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, I'll bet.
You know, any machine that'll do the job is a good machine.
Yeah. So are you making mufflers now, or are you just shining up the ones you're going to use?
I got just shining the ones I got.
Yeah.
I can't make everything, you know, and I talking to Dan, we sold about 12 bell cranks at the Nats or at the Worlds. I didn't take any tanks with me because I didn't figure, and it was probably a good thing because there was only a couple IC motors. Everybody else was running electric.
Yeah. I put in a couple, 2 or 3 good days on the CAD program with the electric version of the Trailblazer. Made some progress, and then it's like 2 steps forward, 1 step back, because you go and you say, "Oh, wait a minute, I'm terrible at this. Oh, wait a minute, it might be better if I did it this way." So then I have to go back in and redo everything.
PVA is on here. Got a piece of carbon sliver in my thumb and I can't get it out.
Oh, that's nasty stuff. Got to be real careful with that. I've heard people get it in their thumb and it comes out on their palm or the back of their hand and travels around in their body a little bit.
And we'll get it out somehow. I hope some more people come in.
Yeah. Well, this earlier startup is good for the guys out on the East Coast, but the guys on the West Coast are having dinner.
I figured they just don't like me.
Well, the thing is, that by the time, like it's 6 o'clock when at California time, if you shut it down at 8 o'clock my time, which is 9 o'clock your time, shut it down then it's 7 o'clock California time. And they're just finishing supper, putting the kids, whatever,
Well,
I think,
they still can go at the bench and come in.
yeah, but if it closes, say at 7 o'clock their time, they can't get there before it closes. to get involved in what's going on.
Stuart, if you're there, you go. Having a heck of a time, Stuart?
No, I actually went and got something to drink, before I clicked in, so.
That was me being notified. Mark Legrand has said hi, so.
Oh.
So what are you doing there, Sparky?
Cleaning up these landing gear, trying to get the PVA off of them. These go to Craig Biswick in Australia.
Oh,
I got given a Tom Lay Super Tiger 51.
really?
Yep. Looks brand new. Huh?
You can't go wrong with that one.
No. It's good.
I'm gonna redesign the Viper for that one. The original one that I had, the one with the blue one with the checkerboard leading edge, it had a Super Tiger 51 in it, the one that I sold around.
That's the G51, right?
Yeah,
Didn't Super Tiger have like a 46, a 51 or something in that range in the 50s, and then the 60, and then a 74 or 75 in their lineup?
they had the engine that looks like this, the V. They had a 51, a 56, and a 60.
Okay,
That looked like this, and they all had the same case, same mounting holes. But the older ones, the 51 and 56, didn't have muffler lugs because they were pre-muffler. They were, from the 60s.
right.
I think I spotted this sliver. I don't have any tweezers. Damn.
So how you doing, Stuart?
Oh, not too bad. Went to the NASCAR race on the weekend. So it wasn't the greatest. I kind of got rained out.
Oh, no.
So hopefully I'll go flying this Thursday. The next 10 days or so, I mean, we're not getting a lot of rain, but there's some wind, but it's gonna be some nice days. And then Brad's got a fun flying a long weekend coming up. So
You still flying your Pathfinder?
oh, I haven't crashed. I crashed 2 weeks before the Nats or something.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
That was going up and it just cut out.
Seems
So-
like Gary Sinclair's having a hard time getting in. Turn on your camera, Gary.
Yeah, I can. I gotta restart.
Okay.
My camera won't turn on.
Yeah, when you're going uphill like that and the motor quits, it kind of leaves you in a bad position.
It was
You
kind
just
of
can't run fast enough.
because I wanted to fly that one at the Nats.
Yeah,
But I ended up flying the Twister, so it worked out all right.
good.
How'd you do?
I came in fourth. So I did all right. I was happy with the way I flew, so to me that was good.
What class are you flying?
That was like the profile. Or
Profile?
we call it actually
What's wrong with that?
acrobatics. It just says intermediate. That was so I think that's what they go by.
Yeah, well, that's good.
I flew in the other one. I didn't do so well. It was windier and I didn't handle the wind too good. But
It's a common occurrence. Don't feel bad.
yeah, Oh, well, I enjoyed it. It was good. I mean, it's quite a place. It's so big. It's huge.
Yeah, it's like
Uh,
800 acres and about it.
and we went and saw some. My cousin took this bus there, so we stayed on it at the field there, and
That's the one that broke down on the way home, right?
yeah, wouldn't start. Or yeah, it didn't start. It burned up the starter.
Oh, gee.
We were just gonna leave, and he went over to the dump site, dumped the fluids, and then it just didn't start. So he's got it back here though. He's got
Oh,
it.
good.
So, but it was good. It was quite the experience. Saw a lot.
You
See,
do it again, then I take it.
sorry,
You do it again, then I take it.
if I could, if I had the chance, I'll love to see. But it's yeah, that was pretty good.
Well, that's a good experience then.
Yeah, we saw some helicopter guys. Boy, they're good. Holy smokes, what they do with those things. It's pretty
Do they
amazing.
do that dance kind of thing they do when they're,
Yeah. They
yeah.
the guy, he'd go up, oh man, I don't know how many feet, 300 feet, and he'd dive straight down and then like just just levels it out.
Hold on a second. Gary, you're muted. You gotta turn on your microphone.
It won't turn on. Camera won't turn on.
There you go. Now the camera, go to where it says video, the up arrow. Click on that and click off of whatever you're find your camera in there.
Yeah. They don't have that arrow on there to. The audio does. It's that little arrow, but
Well, does the video have a line through it?
yeah, got a red line through it.
Click on the camera.
That's what I did. I clicked on the camera and it worked on the icon.
Unplug the camera and plug it back in.
Well, it's already incorporated in my laptop.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you got some setting screwed up then.
Hmm.
There's no up arrow on the next to the camera on the left hand side.
No.
You got a 12-year-old over there?
Let's see. Yeah, would be nice, but let's see. Let's just audio.
Here's the bell cranks that I was selling.
Is that a windshield?
Yeah, they come out of this mold right here.
Yeah. He made some nice stuff.
I just ordered some more bushings so I can make some more.
Yeah.
You make those with carbon fiber, isn't it?
Right. "38 inches of 48K. One solid run. Danny, if you're watching, why don't you come on in? I'm going to work on fuel tanks tomorrow. And, I was going to come on today, but I'm kind of broadcasted out for the last 2 weeks.
Well, 2 weeks or 10 days solid. That'll take the drive out of anybody. Unless you're getting paid, like $500 a day or more.
Yeah, that'd help. My whole recap on the Worlds was I thought Lu Zhang did the best. They scored those corners when they were coming around. They scored the ones that went like that, higher than smooth corners.
Ah.
And ones that went, yo, and the airplane shuddered going up. They all did it except for her. I think her pattern was the most pleasant to watch.
Well, she sure impressed a lot of people, you know.
The manager of the team gave me the Chinese flag.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm a little spooked to fly it, though. I probably get attacked.
You might, yeah. Especially if you take it with you when you go vote.
I had a good time there. Those people were really nice, you know, France and Poland, uh, Germany, they were all cool.
Yeah,
Matter of fact, a kid, Christian, I think his name is, he
the
followed,
brothers,
he
the
followed
brother and sister from Poland did. How'd they do?
the Almost boys.
No, the brother and sister from Poland.
Uh, I don't know, you have to look at the scores. You remember
Yeah.
their names?
No, not offhand. I can look it up though.
They were brother and sister.
Yeah,
Let's see here. Poland. We had China, United States, Japan, Italy, Canada, Poland, Germany, Australia, Mongolia, Brazil, United Kingdom, Switzerland, New Zealand, Romania, Singapore, Netherlands, Cuba, and Kazakhstan.
well, they come in about middle of the pack. That's not bad.
Poland, let's see, they were, oh, I got, that's not on here. Oh, competitive place. In the Poland, yeah, okay. The finals, they were 39th, it looks like. 22nd or, yeah, 22nd, I guess. Let me see. I had a picture that I took of the scoreboard. Here we go.
Do they have like placing for how the whole team does?
Um, China was first. United States was second. I don't know who was third. Let me see if I can find that. I got it on here somewhere.
That Italian fella did pretty well too.
Oh, he won.
Yeah, I would say so.
Well, here I don't have the stupid picture. Let me go back here. Paul Walker put it on a separate piece of paper. No, I don't have it. Chris Cox was last.
What happened?
I don't know. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Here's the placings. Okay, first was Marco Valeria. Arrested was second. X Letong from China was third. David was fourth. Yu Zhang was fifth. Lu Yang. There's two Lu Yangs. Or Jun Lang and Lu Yang were great. And then Japan. Then my girl Lu Zhang was eighth. And Belle Crane Constantine was ninth. Zhang something Bricoli or whatever, the 10th. Murray Howell from Australia was 11th. Matt Colin was 12th. Christian Wachensky from Poland was 13th. Kasho Mogumi from Japan was 14th. Chris Cox was 15th.
So it sounds like the sister didn't make the cut, but yeah, the brother did.
Poland, weird. I only think one of them made it to the finals,
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
and that would be the guy,
Yeah,
Christine Wachinki. He was 13th. Had a lot of Chinas in there, though.
yeah, they had a lot of people there flying, didn't they?
Yeah.
Remember that one year way back when the guy didn't use a handle, he had rings on the end of his lines there, and he slipped his little finger in the down line and his index finger in the up line and made a fist. That's how he flew.
Wonder what that noise, that static was.
It wasn't static, that was Stuart cleared his throat.
Yeah. It was a good time. It was really weird too, being there after the Nats. Nobody in the hotel that I knew.
Oh yeah.
You know, they were all from a different country. Of course, everybody was there too. You know, the F2C and the speed guys and the combat guys. I didn't know anybody. And it seemed like it was never going to end.
When you were there for 2 weeks, it's a long haul too.
Yep. I was model airplaned out.
Yeah, I can believe it.
Today I didn't do anything model airplane. Nothing.
Who's on the YouTube? Is that Barbie show back up?
I don't know. I can't see the screen.
Oh,
Can you see the screen?
no. I'm not, I I don't know how to run them both at the same time.
Okay, let's see. Pop out chat. They're going to tell me they can't get in. Well, all I got to do is go to Stunt Hanger. Okay. I got to go all the way across the room to read this. Hey, Spark, to ask anyone at Stunt Hanger a question, where do I go to ask the question? Stunt Hanger at SMF. Yes, the forum. Okay. Craig Biswick, YouTube notified him. Good. John Miller from Craig Biswick. For John Miller, I've just about finished the wing on the Trailblazer, doping now.
Outstanding.
Let's see, Marcella Grand. Hello, everybody at Stunt School. There. Oh, I guess he went off. Tom Lee or Lay? Tom Lay, Keith. It's an old motor from Tom Lay.
Yeah.
Bryce says, hi, everyone. Like sent. Okay, once again, you go to open form and type in, start a new question. You have to be logged in. Start a new question and post. You have to be a member to log on and go, yeah, that's it. Yep, that's it. All right. I don't want to stand over here by this TV. I got to get a new pair of glasses. I can't see across the room. That print is so tiny.
Yeah.
Been about 2 years, or no, it's been longer than that. It's been about 4 years since I had my eyes checked.
Well, thanks for going over there and and getting that information. I appreciate it. It's good to hear Craig is doping the wing now. I'm curious, has he started the fuselage yet? He may answer that. I know
Here's your
he's,
landing gear, Craig. One of them. I'm gonna send you a belt crank too. Clean the flashing off. Get the PVA off and polish them up. Well, not everybody talk at once.
well, I was just chasing flies. Flies around here are really bad this year.
I'll tell you what was bad at the nests and the world, the bees.
Bees?
And they drove me nuts. The bees would cause the camera to go out of focus. The bee would fly in front of the lens and it'd focus on the bee.
Yeah. Well, I was worried that you're going to get a cicada bloom going.
The cicadas are done.
Are they?
Yeah. Okay, I gotta get the PVA off of that one. But this one's all cleaned up. We could buff this one, I suppose, see what happens. Yeah, participation has went down since I've taken this over. I guess they don't like me.
Well, you've got a different style and you may not work out as well. I don't know.
Well, we don't have to do them.
Let me share where I'm at on the Trailblazer. I know Greg and Marcel would probably like to see it. I'm surprised that Phil isn't here today.
Okay, what do I gotta do? I forgot. Participants. No. Share. There you go.
Thank you. Let's go again. I might have to back out and come back in. Oh, wait. Oh, that's not good.
There's Cha-Cha.
I might back out and come back in, Bob.
All right. What's up, Cha-Cha?
Everything is okay.
That's good.
How you
Are you
doing?
going- I'm finishing up some landing gear to send to Australia.
Okay, nice.
Are you back in Tobago?
Trinidad. Yes, I'm back in Trinidad.
Man, that was fast.
Yes. uh,
What'd you think of our field?
I love it. It's really it was really nice. It was really nice. It was really nice.
Okay. I got it back up. Did it come across?
Yes.
Okay, this is for Marcel and for Greg, this is the electric version. And I also laid out the controls here. That'll be good for either version. I'm working on, let me get it. I'm working on getting the pattern sheet ready. That's right here. You see there's a lot less sheets in the electric version than in the IC version because I don't have to deal with this shaking nose from the big engine. So there's 6, 7 sheets less of balsa going on. So that's kind of nice to side thing. And here's what I've been working on. This is the motor box here in front and the battery box behind it. And it's going to it's actually going to have it set up so that let me go back to the fuselage. Anyway, on the fuselage, it's going to wind up right here in the nose. Still not sure on the final shape of the nose, but this if you front mount the motor, this can right here is the size and diameter of the 3520 can, and 3515 would be plenty. So it can be a little shorter, but most people probably go with slightly bigger. But your electronics, your wires come straight down here. They come down here, and there's a void here, little fresh air coming in, void coming in. Actually, I'm gonna bring it out right about in this area, and I'll have the ESC mounted on the bottom right here, where it's out in the air, and then the timer will be somewhere in this area on the side. So that's where we're at, kind of getting the idea what it's going to look like. I think it's going to be all right. So that's it. I'll stop sharing unless anybody has any questions. So no questions. I'll go ahead and stop.
I tell you, the most impressive electric airplane there at the Worlds for me was the counter-rotating job.
Yeah, that
The GB R3. R3.
Yep, the blue one. I think he was from Poland.
yeah. The Poles have been working on that counter rotating for
Well,
several.
there was two different styles of counter rotating. One was a gear driven, and
Yep.
the other one was one motor behind the other. And the
Right.
one that was impressive was the one with one motor behind the other.
Yeah, I think that's what some said, that the counter rotating is a fix looking for a problem, or and that what they're trying to do engineering wise is fantastic, but I don't know if they're really going to help immensely in what they're in their pattern work or in their flying, or the way the plane flies or tracks.
I'll
But,
tell you,
you know,
what, drive in the wind, that sure had it.
I bet it did because it's got twice, it's like flying a twin. You got twice the prop blade, you know, whether going on there, whether it's not acting exactly like a twin, where you got all the wash over the wings too. But you've got twice the blade angle, blade area going there. And that'll give you drive, you know. If you look at it, he's basically running a twin. It's running a twin. He's running, I don't know if he's running the same size as he would if he was running a single prop, but
Well, it is a twin. It has two motors on it, one behind the other,
right, tandem,
and one shaft goes through the other.
right. So it would have drive, that's for sure. It's like, you know, the twin, like Bob's twins and Gordy's twin, they've got drive, you know, they're Gordy, of course, he's running wet power, but there have been several of them that have been built in as electrics, and I know one of them, he not only had electrics, but he had on a Pathfinder, and he actually had retracts on it. But he actually won the Brodak event, the profile event, with that setup. So
Dennis Admission says, like delivered, happy Monday. How come you're not here, Dennis?
yeah, we miss you, Denny.
We got Gary Sinclair that can't get in, or he can get in but can't get his camera on. That I cannot help you with.
I got that one. I'm on a mission.
What time is it there in Trinidad, Cha-Cha?
8:41 p.m.
So you're at the same time as me.
Yeah.
So Cha-Cha, did you get to see a lot of people, meet a lot of people, and learn a lot?
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Oh yes. Now you put that in your golden book and start using it to, yeah.
To start sharpening up. You know.
Weren't you working with some kids too?
Yes. But school is currently out, so September I'll see them.
Ah, gotcha.
So I have about 14 kids, and I fly control line with them on a Saturday, and I have four that already soloed.
Cool.
One in particular doing loops and lazy eights, wing overs already.
Wow. Natural.
How can you be the same time as me?
Oh, where are you?
Midwest, United States.
Well,
I don't know.
Are you in the Pacific Ocean or the Atlantic Ocean?
The Atlantic is to the east of Trinidad and Tobago. So
Okay.
Caribbean Sea to the west, and the Atlantic to the east of us.
Got the Caribbean there too.
I wonder if he's on the same lateral line as us. Not on the same parallel, but on the lateral as.
Let me look at my world map here.
So you'd be right below. Let's see.
Correct. Let me check it out. Where's Ohio?
No, I'm not in Ohio. I'm in Missouri, St. Louis.
Oh, Missouri.
Right the middle of the country.
Well, if he's anywhere close to Cuba, he's pretty darn close to the same.
No, Cuba's on Eastern time. Are you out in the Gulf or what?
No, that is actually weird. I wonder if my yeah, because I'm looking at your location, and
Yeah, you should be a couple hours
so
ahead.
even when we were in Indiana, and Indiana is actually ahead of you, it was an hour apart. Let
Right.
me go check something here.
Are you on, what day is it there?
It's today.
It's Monday.
We got a $20 super chat from, I can't, I'm not on StreamYard, I can't post that, but that's from, oh, $30 super chat from Roy Lane. Thank you, Roy.
Yes, it's 8:44.
You're not, are you on daylight savings time or standard time?
Our time does not change.
So there's an hour difference right there.
Yeah, but I'm gonna, when I get off of here tonight, I'm gonna look and see where Trinidad is, because it just, he's gotta be on the same lateral line as me. He's the same time as me. And wait a minute, you said 8:45, so yeah, you're on the same lateral line as Ohio.
I think he's straight south of us.
Longitude and latitude.
No, I would be more east of you all if you look on the map. If you go straight down from Missouri and you draw a straight line, you will cross Central America somewhere by Guatemala. I
Right?
am east of that.
Okay, so
I'm
you're on
more-
Eastern time.
Yes, so more like I'm closer to Puerto Rico than you are to me.
Okay, well, see, I made a mistake. I wasn't 8, I was 7. So there's an hour difference, but it just seems weird that you'd
Yeah.
be out
And
there.
y'all had to reformulate after people found out it was full of crap.
What's that? Oh. That's Phil.
Later, I gotta go do some things.
Okay,
Hopefully I'll be back in.
We'll see you then, Stuart.
He's planning the future for the Change mobile app. Gen X is planning a summer in.
Got a TV?
Help from VP Morgan Wells.
Yeah, doggone it.
Okay. Anyway,
Well, Phil, you missed, I showed where I'm at with the the electric version of the Trailblazer. Did you see that? Oh, good.
no, he didn't see it. Show it again.
He said, all right, show it again. Okay.
What gets me is I know Sparky is known for his polish jobs. But damn, look at that polishing wheel.
Yeah. That's for polishing mufflers.
Yeah. I gotta get one like that. Oh yeah. Oh, look at this.
Let's see here. Well,
John, if it's easy, anybody could do it.
there's the battery box and the motor.
Yeah.
If it's set up, if it's going to be set up as a front mount, then
Yeah.
you can bring your power, your leads right down through here. Now
Mhm.
we're going to mount the ESC right back in this area.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about doing. I was thinking about putting a little box right under the battery box right here. Well, you can't see what I'm doing, but anyway, right under where the cursor is now, just up from that.
Yeah,
Come
right
down.
up there.
Yeah, right in that area, put a box in there that runs the width of the battery box. Just leave a scoop just on the front where it sticks out, put a hole where it'll draw some air in there. And
Yeah,
on the backside, put a hole where it'll come out.
yeah, you can do that. You got to remember here are hinges.
Yeah. Well, that's no
Okay.
problem. They're hinges, but they're not really hinges.
Right.
They're that piece just pops out.
Yeah.
I think that's neat. I think it's gonna work nice.
Now let me get up here. It actually takes 6 sheets less of of balsa for this, and anyway, that's what I was trying. I've been laying out the pattern sheet up here.
Yeah. Well, that's nice because what the last load of balsa I just ordered cost.
Yeah, yeah. And I've tried to pack them in a little tighter in some areas and
Yeah.
make it where we get the biggest bang out of the buck on this one. Yeah. But I'm trying to make a decision, and then he's gonna shoot me for this. I'm thinking instead of using well, I guess make whatever way you want to go it. This is the original Denny's was lightweight balsa, lightweight plywood.
Plywood.
And
Yeah.
I'm thinking of going with 8 to 12 pound balsa.
No, I'll go with plywood because all the strain of that motor is on the front of that thing.
Yep.
And if you
Yeah,
put
that's for
balsa up
sure.
there, if you put balsa up there, as hard as some of these motors, not every time, but some of the time kick off. I mean, the torque alone could rip a balsa one off.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
gonna
that's a
go ahead
good
and go
point.
with the plywood.
That's a good point. I think you just talked me out of going with the balsa.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then he set it up so that on his let me get it closer here. Set it up on his where the instead of having this part at the bottom, having it over here, the power lead on a front mount would go straight out the side here.
Yeah.
And that way, but I'm going to turn it because I'm going to make the power lead go straight out and inside the fuselage, to make it.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's where we're at with it. And
The way it is would work inside the fuselage, wouldn't it?
no,
That's
no, the way it is, this here,
show that again.
I'll show it again. The power lead is lined up with this with this opening. And so this opening would have to be on the center line here, this being the top, because you're looking at it.
Yeah, yeah.
So this opening here, if it's here, then the power lead would go straight down and out.
Okay. Okay. It's off to the side. I was thinking it was straight under the bolt, but apparently it's not. That's all right. That'll
Yeah.
work. Sounds good to me either way.
So anyway, so that's where we're at. I've got a little bit of work to do on the wing, just to make the cutout for the wing and then start tying a ribbon on this thing.
Sounds good to me. I've got a project going now that's going to drive me crazy. I'm switching from a profile to a built-up fuselage, and I've already cut out all the parts for the profile. So anyway,
What plane is that, Phil?
the Pathfinder.
Oh, you're gonna go to a full body?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do the full body Pathfinder. This big one's going to be the profile. I'm going to use it and the Mo Best are going to be the two profiles.
Gotcha.
So I've got to get my ducks in a row. But anyway, on a better note, I went to the doctor today and they cut my medicine. So now we'll see how everything works out. I told them I was getting dizzy and a little nauseous and having some problems, and they looked at what all I was taking and said, well, yeah, I guess you could. So they cut everything back. So as of tonight, when I take my 10 o'clock medicine, I'll be taking a much lower dose and we'll see what happens tomorrow. But I'm hoping to go flying tomorrow, so we'll see what happens. Fly the SP11. I fly the SP11 and see how it works out.
Yeah.
I haven't flown it since it was put back together. It didn't hit near as hard as the Vector did, though. That Vector came in from straight overhead. The engine quit and it floated, but it came in from straight overhead. The SP11 was only 6-7 feet up. And it just turned a tight loop and stalled and then just slowly popped in the ground. So
Didn't hurt a bit.
No, it tore the front end up, but only, back a few inches. So I think it's in much better shape.
Yeah.
But I'm amazed the vector wing's perfect. Didn't hurt it a bit. It hit the ground. It was in that crash. It was in when the wind got it, it came in, hit the inboard tip first and kind of cartwheeled and disintegrated as it spun. And the wing is still not got a scratch on it. I don't understand. That's a tough little airplane.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'll be putting it back together this time. It's just there comes a point when you got to realize enough's enough. Something tells me it ain't meant for me to fly that thing. So I'm gonna move over and fly something else. But
Well,
we'll get it going.
Craig Beswick reported that he's doping the wing for the Trailblazer.
For the big one?
Yeah,
Good Lord.
yeah, he's at the point where I don't know if he started it yet, but he's at the point where he's ready to start on the fuselage.
Wow. And I think Marcel's not far behind. He's building the wing, I think.
That's
I've
good.
been talking to Marcel, been texting back and forth with Marcel. And he has a trike similar to what I used to have. I built a body for mine. He says he's wanted to build one for his. I tried to caution him. There's one thing about those egg fuselages, if you want to call it that. They're very aerodynamic, but they get awfully hot because you're putting yourself in an egg cooker. There is no ventilation. It's ridiculous. They're quick, but you're right on the ground and it's hard to see. And
Oh yeah,
I refuse to ride it by myself. I
You're
had
talking
flags
about-
coming up.
yeah. He's got that trike
Bicycle.
bicycle.
Yeah.
He's gonna be.
I can't remember the name of the darn thing. That's one of the things I've been trying for 2 days to remember the name of it.
So he's
And
thinking
but
about.
it had a 3-speed rear hub in the rear wheel. Then it had a 9-speed cassette on that, and then I had a 3-speed cassette in the front. That's 3 of 9's 27 times 3. You had gears for anything you needed. You had plenty of gears, but
I guess so. So is he
God, it
going
was-
kind of like a dustbin type body on it, or is it gonna be?
it just looked
closed
like
in?
it literally looked like an egg.
Really?
It literally looked like an egg. It looked like if you took an egg and cut it just in half, long ways, and then added a little bit to the bottom of it. Set that down over the bike, 4 inches off actually 2 inches off the ground. Then figure out how much of it had to be clear canopy and mold that out of plexiglass. And you do it over plywood bucks.
Wow.
So it's a job.
Is it gonna be closed in on, we'll be able to see the ground when he's sitting there?
Oh, you'll see the ground.
Okay, that's an old motorcycle, they call that a dustbin.
Well, I guess that's what it is. The things I had to work out were if the ground's wet, you still get water inside from all 3 wheels. So I had to work, that was one thing to work out. Then I got the idea to put flickers on all 3 wheels, which is a little thing to take debris off the tires. Worked that out. Got everything worked out except the fact it just gets hot as a pressure cooker. But it's fun. It's fun. It's something to do.
Yeah.
I just don't have time to do it anymore. I had to have somebody go with me with that one, and it was just too much. I had a friend of mine that was the one that got me into trikes, get hit and nearly killed on the thing when somebody just didn't see him and hit him from behind, knocked him about 50 feet up into a front yard. And that was enough to tell me, okay, it's time for this puppy to go to somebody else. There's other people that wanted to buy it. Let them have it.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know he had started the wing. That was.
Well, what I understand, he was ready to start it. I don't know that he started, but he was ready to start it.
Yeah.
And the way he built that fuselage, I imagine he's probably halfway through it by now. Because that's been 3 or 4 days.
Yeah. Yeah, he's fast.
Yeah, he is fast. But he gets a lot done. He rides 100 kilometers and still that 100 kilometers would take me 4 hours anyway.
Well, he gets up at 4:30 in the morning
Yeah,
And,
I can't do that.
and he'll put on 100 kilometers before his day begins.
Yeah, I do. When I go riding, I go riding. Well, the difference is he's on a simulator and I don't have a simulator. I get on a
Yeah.
bike and go ride. But when I come in, it takes me a long time and I'm not in that good a shape anymore. I used to be 10 years ago now. I just said, let's get together and go for a real bike ride, but I couldn't do it now,
Yeah.
especially after the last 6 months. I was hard crap. That's something that catches up with you and you don't even see it coming. And then all of a sudden, guess what? Tag, you got heart problem.
You know what bothered me? Look at this here.
What'd you do, John?
Nothing. I sit there, my elbow's got a big knot on it. It's sitting there and I have my elbow down on the arms of the chair.
Mm-hmm.
And it about 3 weeks ago, the first time it happened. And it just happened again today, and I talked to the doc about it and he just said, hey, it's just got to get better. Well, the coloration isn't as bad as it was before,
Yeah.
but right? It's hell
Well,
to
I
get
talked
old.
to my doctor about some of the aches and pains. He says, well, you're not getting any younger. If you want an explanation for the aches and pains, look at your birth certificate. I told him, I'm gonna tell you, I don't mean to be ugly, but I ask you what to do about an ache or a pain or a problem I'm having one more time, and you tell me that I'm old, and I'm gonna go find another doctor. I know I'm old, dang it. I've been around a long time. I know a lot of people.
Yeah, you figured that one out, right?
I figured out I'm old. What can I do
Not
about
much
the aches
gets
and
past
pains?
that old Southern boy, does it?
No, it don't take a whole lot for me to figure out you're old, dummy. But I mean, I look at the price of kits like I'd love to build another little jumping bean or a little Satan, but I'm used to little jumping bean, little Satan. I go out and mow a yard, get $1.50, and go buy a kit for $1.50. I had to come up with the taxes.
That
Had to come
that
up
was
with another
back when you
12
was a kid.
Yeah. Well, I went to Brodak because he had little jumping beans, $49.
Yeah.
Holy merd. So I didn't get one. I did get a set of plans and came home and cut one out, but put me a golden bee on it, the one that I learned to fly on and got it ready to fly. I took it out and flew it in my backyard. I haven't taken it to the park yet with the guys, but of course it's like all reed valve engines. You can't do a whole lot of stunting because if you flip it upside down, you have to do it in the first flight or it runs out of fuel. But
$49 for a $3 kit?
yeah, $1.50 kit when I started flying. I still got a box downstairs that's $1.50 on a little Satan. The little Satan's still hanging on my basement wall.
I'd just pay the price and feel younger.
Yeah, well, I'm telling you.
It's a good way to
Makes
do
me-
it because it ain't
makes
gonna
me-
get any cheaper.
That's
Yeah, it
great.
makes me feel god awful old. Well, the thing of it is, a little jumping bean or a little Satan. I mean, if you look at that, and honestly, if you've been building models for 50 years and you can't scratch build one of those darn things, if you've got plans to it, you've got the airfoil, you know what the leading edge looks like. Okay, I can't make that pretty molded leading edge, but I can call Brodak and order one, which is what I did, and got the trailing edge too.
You got a
And-
router, don't you?
No, I've got a full size router, yeah.
Yeah, well, you
But,
can do it on a router.
Well, I could. You're right. I could. Hadn't thought about that. But yeah, I
Router
could.
table, you set a router up, mount it on a table, and away you go.
Yeah, I've got a real one, 2.5 horse.
Yeah.
That thing wouldn't even know it was cut. Run a
No.
piece of balsa through it.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
take this and get it chromed.
It looks good enough, just polished.
Yeah, but it won't stay that way.
Yeah, but it won't stay that way chromed either.
Yeah, it will.
Chrome aluminum, well, good luck. Every time I've chromed aluminum after about 6 months, chrome starts coming off and then it does look bad.
Well, St. Louis Plating does all my chroming for motorcycles, and I'm sure that they can get it on their triple chrome plate. It'll stay on.
If I'll have to get up with you and see what they charge me to do a set of headlight bezels for a 69 Datsun Roadster. Because I had one set That's a
You
horror
still
story. But
got that beast?
yeah, she ain't going nowhere. That's the one thing my daughter says she wants. So
Are you gonna hand them to him polished like this? Because the cost is in the polishing.
well, I can get it. I can polish it. That's not a big deal. But the old chrome's on it, so it's not going to be perfect. That's probably the problem.
The
But
old chrome is on it.
yeah,
You
Yeah,
gotta
you
dip,
need,
gotta strip it and then polish it and then re-chrome them.
yeah, and I'm probably going to have to pay them to do it then because I don't have a way to strip it.
The cost of doing chroming is in the polishing.
Oh, I know, but I just want to get it done. At this point, I just want to get it done, get the car on the street. It's ready to drive, except I don't have that on there.
St.
Get
Louis
that.
plating.
I'll give them a call. Probably have to call you back and get the name because I'll forget it. CRS has me bad, but I want to get this done. Get my old car. And I've had that car. I had a guy try to buy it from me a couple of weeks ago. I heard that I had it and called me and says, "You still got that Datsun you used to drive?" I said, "Yeah." "Is that the one you used to autocross?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, what kind of shape's it in?" I said, "Well, it's red now. It's got a brand new paint job on it. I'm putting it back together after a restoration job, but it's beautiful. It looks as good as it did before. It's just before it was British Racing green, and now it's red." He wanted to buy it. He wanted to give me $2,500 for it.
Hey, good luck.
I
yeah,
told him, "Do you realize?" I said, "In your infinite wisdom, do you realize that won't pay for the tires and wheels on that car?" And he just looked at me like I was crazy. I said, "I'm serious. It's got mini lights on it. You can't buy the tires and wheels on that car for $2,500. The paint job cost me that, and you want to give me that for the whole car? I don't think so. I believe I'll
Yeah.
have to pass."
I've
He
got a
got
guy,
mad. He got mad.
did he?
Mm-hmm.
I had somebody come, I've got one of those Toyota mini motorhomes, you know,
Yeah.
and I've got the one that's got the fiberglass thing, a body, you know, damper on it instead of the tin one. And a guy come up, he wanted to buy it, and at that time it needed a new water pump in, and
Uh-huh.
you know, they all need a little something. Anyway, the guy wanted to buy it, and he asked how much. I told him $4,000, and he kind of looked like I shot him. I think he thought he was going to get it for $1,000 or less, you know.
No, don't even think about it.
I've got a guy now that's wanting it, but he says he looked him up to see what they cost. And I says, "They're not cheap, are they?" So we might have a better relationship.
In
I haven't-
Elkin, it's got two of them.
Here's an expensive piece of iron or aluminum.
Oh, yes.
That's a full custom super tagger. Only thing I'm gonna change out the Venturi. I'm gonna put the Randy Smith Venturi in it.
Yeah, well, it's got the two little slots.
That one there has a Jim Lee Venturi. I mean, it'll work. Just all my motors are kind of set up the same way with the Randy Venturi and the Randy needle valve spray bar and stuffer back plate and, you know, custom head and the ABC liner on it.
Tom Lice set me up with a McCoy lightning bolt McCoy Redhead 40, and whatever he does, you know, you know the rule of thumb is you can't run a muffler on a McCoy because that centered neonite piston that it has on there. But he does something, he hardens that. But anyway, I can run a muffler on it all day long. It doesn't hurt it at all. So,
22% castor oil.
well, I do. I don't run that much. I run I think 20%
Straight castor, no synthetic.
straight casting.
Yeah.
So Cha-Cha, have you flown since you got back?
I went to the field today to set some lap times on my Cardinal.
How'd it feel after watching all those guys flying?
it felt very inspiring.
That's a polite way of putting it, isn't it?
Fly as good as Lu Zhang?
What's that?
You fly as good as Lu Zhang?
No way.
Not only can she fly, but she's awful good looking woman and she's smart.
Yeah, considering she's a plastic surgeon.
Right.
Oh shit.
Yeah, she's a plastic surgeon.
Darren, I was there all week. I didn't see you.
She could. What's that?
You didn't
Was-
come till after you left, Bill.
Oh, I she could really fly. I
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Where's she
I
from?
mean, this guy improved as well. Litong,
Who?
third, he came third from the Chinese team.
Oh, yeah.
That's her brother.
Wow. Wow, the first time I saw him was the last, I think the last World Champs, and he was a junior. He was doing real good.
See, what I don't understand about FAI is the judges want to see that turn that's it's sharp like that, but the airplanes flop around as they go around the corner. She was sharp corner and smooth, you know.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
That's so
Problem
difficult
is they add to,
to accomplish. The airplane has to be well trimmed. So
She was flying a Chinese plane. That wasn't a Yatsenko. That's a
Really?
re-engineered. That's a re-engineered Yatsenko.
yeah,
I was of the opinion that was a shark.
It was not a shark.
They
Wow.
Chinese are real good at taking something and copying it very, very well. And they're
Yeah.
smart enough. They're smart enough if they know anything about it and they see a chance to make it even a little better, they've started doing that too.
I'm surprised they haven't got Igor's timer and unsoldered it and back engineered it and making it 50%.
I think they do. I've got a picture of the timer and the timer and the ESC. I got a picture down in the cowl of that plane. And they have taken a front mount motor and rear mounted it and then used that X mount and run it up and got rods that go forward to attach it to the front mount. Now talk about adding complication to the motor, to that part of it. But then the ESC and the timer are in black heat shrink, and they've got it looks like a Chinese emblem on them. I think they've re-engineered an Igor and got it, but their timer didn't sound like anybody else's. It was really working well. But then when your girl's flying like she's flying, and he was flying great too. They were both flying great. It's just she was so impressive. Her corners were better than his. And
She had her bottoms dialed in pretty good too.
oh Lord, man, her bottoms were 4 feet, and that thing was coming down so hard and so fast. You just knew, oh crap, she's going to splatter.
Yeah.
Perfect. No bobble, no nothing. Everybody else bobbled one once in a while. I watched her close. I never did see her bobble nothing. That girl's going to be a champ. Mark my words, next world championship, watch out for that woman. She's
If
going to be
she can
good.
make the corner harder. See, she's not strong enough. She says, I'm very weak. She's not strong enough to hold the airplane. That's why in between maneuvers, she was holding it with 2 hands. And
I
another
told
thing,
her, darling, I said, darling, I'll make you a bet. I bet for the last 4 years, if you're a plastic surgeon, you're 27 years old, that puts you just about the right age. You've been trying to do this when you were taking time off from studying to become a doctor, right? Well, yes. And her English is perfect, by the way. Well, yes. I said, once you get to where you've got time to practice regular, your brother ain't going to be able to hold a candle to you.
If she's having trouble, she might consider taking 10 or 15%, scale it down by 10 or 15%.
All that
that's the
dragging
sixth.
going on.
That's the, I know that's not me. That's the 6th version of that airplane. It's a Type F.
Yeah.
The 6th version. They've modified it here and there.
If she's having trouble holding on to it, it's too big for her.
You ought to see the woman, John. I could pick her up, put her on my shoulder, and carry her. She's tiny.
That's what I
little thing.
heard. She's a real tiny bone.
She's as petite as she can be.
Broken?
She's beautiful, but she's petite.
Yeah.
If it's not broken, don't try to fix it. She's
You like that? Huh? I liked what I saw too. She's a good looking woman.
And she's as sweet as she is pretty.
And she can fly.
Everybody kept telling me, you can't talk to the Chinese people. They won't talk to you. I went over and started talking to them. I didn't have any problem at all.
They
She
talked
talked to me.
We talked about guns and why do we have, he said, how many guns do you have in this country? I said, half a million, 500 million guns. He said, yeah, but you only have 350 million people. I said, yeah, I know, everybody's got 2 or 3 of them.
She got
said,
2 or 3.
And I said, that's why we're free, is because we got guns. And then he talked about my hat. I go, everything's made in China. He goes, yeah, your hat too, because they gave me the Chinese flag. That flag that was flying there, they gave. He goes, even your hat, and this is a official U.S. Navy licensed product made in China. I go, yeah, China. He goes,
Yeah.
Soon to be United States of China. That's about.
Not in my lifetime.
Well, during World War II, the Japanese never made the landing on the West Coast like people thought they were going to. And I believe that one of their generals told them, no, you try to go over those mountains and all of a sudden you're in the open country where there's a rifleman behind every blade of grass.
Hirohito said that.
Yeah.
Hirohito.
Yeah.
Told him that there's 300 million people and 175 million of them have hunting license. That means they're good with a rifle and a pistol. You do not want to go over there. And he didn't. Oops, I forgot about that.
Yeah, they would
Turn
like
this
to
off.
disarm us because that's the New World Order stuff. Oh, I got one public service announcement too for you guys.
Uh-oh.
Gasoline is now at $2.99. Do not be fooled. If the other diet guy doesn't take over, we'll have high prices come 1st of January.
Oh God, you know that. That's what happened before. Remember what it was?
Yep. It was
December
$1.90
31st.
something.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden it was $3.
Where's it? $2.98.
$2.99. Right here in St. Louis.
Right here.
Boy, it ain't here.
It'll go down some more because we're getting close to the election.
Oh yeah, it's going to come down for the election.
Do not be fooled.
It's $3.48 a gallon here.
How much?
$3.48.
Yeah, $2.99 here. Do not be fooled. They want to do away with oil. And they wonder why the price of everything went up. Well, this is an energy driven fail, shit. That's the end of my public service rant.
Well, they closed the pipeline, so you knew the gas had to go up. It's got to come in by truck now.
Yep. Do not be fooled.
What's everybody building?
You know what I'm doing.
Well, I'm going to build tanks tomorrow, and then the next day I'm going to get back on my Viper. I'm going to do that to finish up the Viper. But I did like the looks of that GVR3, the profile where it went up like that. So I'm going to design another Viper-like airplane with a different type fuselage. There's not going to be any doublers in it. It's going to be done like a Thunderbolt with just light ply bulkheads, that big around with squares cut in it and the bearers off in it. And that'll be a molded fuselage like that GVR3 with a turtle deck instead of what they got.
I like the sound of that. That sounds like a nice looking plane. When you gonna do some more bell cranks, Sparky? I want one.
Yeah. I'm working on them. I'm working on them. I got 20 pieces. These oil light bearings that are in here. That was a problem, but I sourced it now, and I got 20 coming as a sample. They look like this, and these bushings are 3/16 OD, 1/8 ID, and a 1/2 inch long, and they're impregnated with 30 weight oil. So I got some coming. We'll see if that solved the problem. I'll make a few bell cranks. Come out of this mold right here.
What you building now, Cha-Cha?
I have not built anything in a long while. My magician is on pause. I have an SD11 to assemble, and I have not gotten into it as yet.
Well, didn't you get some kits when you were in the States last
Yes.
time?
I got the Stiletto 660. Les McDonald's Stiletto 660.
Sorry.
Les
Wasn't paying close
McDonald's
enough.
660. Stiletto 660.
Oh, Stiletto 660, gotcha. That's a
Did
good
you meet
airplane.
him when you were there, Cha-Cha? He was at the World.
Yes, we had a few days of conversation.
Good.
Yeah, that's a good airplane.
So hopefully from September I'll have some more time to get some of those projects done.
Take 2 weeks to build it.
2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks. Hour a day for 2 weeks.
You can do it in 2 weeks, Sparky. Normal humans can't do that.
Yeah.
Oh, look at what he's doing to me. Now I gotta go get something to eat. Is that ice
Well,
cream?
I got somebody sitting down here looking at me with big brown eyes. I had to hurry up and get it to this point so I could give it to him.
The terrorist is after it.
I mean that. The terrorist has spoken. He's over here. So we're gonna give him his treat before he comes up and bites me. Let me know. Darn it, give me some.
Did
Give
you
it
stay
to
at
me.
Super 8, Phil?
Yes, sir.
Do you know that batting cage and golf course there?
Yeah.
There's an ice cream stand right next to it. Next time you go, get some of that ice cream. That's the best ice cream in town.
Yeah, you're right. You know, I can't find the hotel where we used to stay. We used to stay right down the hall from Wendy, and right down the road from us was a pizza place, and I can't find that place. Vicky and I drove around a good bit, and I could not find it, and I couldn't find the hotel, couldn't find that restaurant. I think they've torn a bunch of stuff down. There's one section of town that looks like it's just level lots. I think
We
they're
used to stay at the
revitalizing.
Quality Inn before it was the Quality Inn. It was some other name. They had the best breakfast.
Yeah, but they had the worst swimming pool. My God,
yeah.
that thing. The morning the last time I stayed there, I went out the first morning, gonna swim a few laps, gonna wait a few laps. I can't really swim very well, but I was gonna go out and get in the pool. It was green. I mean, the grass had nothing on that water.
Penicillin, that's good for you.
Not me, brother. There was funny little things flying around in that water. There you go. Now,
Yeah,
that's not what
Marcel
mine-
just sent this to me, so.
Now mine didn't look like it. Mine looked like an honest to God egg.
I can see this would
That's-
give,
That's a lot more aerodynamic. Now I drew the back end out, kind of like that is, but the front looked like an egg and the top closed down like an eggshell. That right there would be even better.
yeah. Well, it's sure aerodynamic. It kind of looks like a little pursuit airplane, doesn't it?
Well, I'm telling you what,
Put some wings on there and
we went to Yeah. We went down to Charlotte Motor Speedway. They were having a pursuit day down there. And they had a guy come down there. I ain't kidding you. This boy had legs. He must have lived in the dang gym. Good night, baby. But he got on a Gold Rush Titanium, which is a lay down bicycle, but it's a bicycle, 2 wheels. And they put this curtain around him. Then it had a windshield in front of him. This boy hit 60 miles an hour on a bicycle on the front straight of Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Wow.
I put my stuff back on the trailer and said, forget it. I had never seen anybody go that fast on a bicycle.
Okay,
And
let me get the chat here for a bit. Since Roy Lane gave us a super chat, Lisa Roy said, what kind of airplane is it? Craig said it's a big plane. It's going to use an LA-46, but I have a Randy Smith Magnum 52 and a Brian Gardner Super Tiger 51. Lisa Roy says, okay, cool. It's John Miller's design profile. Will a Merco 49 work on it? Oh yeah, they got power. Can anyone answer, Lisa? I'm not familiar with the Merco 49 looking for more power than LA 46.
No, it's definitely got more than 46.
Powder chrome can be wet sanded and polished, yeah. Chinese were flying some Calderons. The Type F Calderon is Pavlo Kravinsko. And the Minnesota Mike says it's $5.60 a gallon here. Well, you can look for it to go down, Mike, by end of the year. And Craig says Matt Newman's looking for carbon bell cranks. Well, he should have been there when I was selling them. Yo-yo fishing. There are a lot of great flyers at the Worlds. Let's see, what did you see in performance of the top competitors that set them apart? And now he retracted it. Well, what we saw was great bottoms, great shapes, and tight turns.
That's right. That thing is called a Caudron Type F. And the F is in big red letters. And I can't get this to show up on there. But there it is. And
her airplane wasn't that airplane. I think it was a Chinese copy.
it is. It's a Chinese copy of a Shark. But hers is the 6th version of it. And they said they're flying, the team and the group that flies with them at home are flying all 6 versions, and she tried them all. But this is the Type F, as in female. It is a smaller airplane, but it's not as small as she said. It's going to have to go smaller. She said they just didn't have a chance to get the other one finished in time. So they have a new one in the works, but they ran out of time. She says, I'm a doctor. I don't have all day to work on models. So anyway, she's amazing. Her and her brother both are amazing.
There comes Mark Weiss.
You got to watch him
for a couple of weeks. I heard
it's been more than a couple of weeks. I saw him last week though. He ain't changed. He's as ornery as he ever was. Hey, Mark.
I got to turn this light down a little bit.
Mark knows what the story is. You come in here for a little fun and fellowship. What do you get? Talked down to and made fun of.
No, I got back about 1:30 in the morning and realized today's Monday and I hadn't been on here in a while, so I thought I'd get back in the swing of things.
Oh, good to have you here.
It's good to have you back, Mark. I'm glad to see you able to still take on sustenance, because you look pretty pooped last time I saw you.
I was pretty pooped. A lot going on.
The new format, Mark, is 8 o'clock Eastern time.
Okay. That's great for me.
Yeah, midnight. We run it live for 2 hours, and then you guys can stay on all night long if you want.
Boy, that guy right below you looks a lot like Cha-Cha.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, that was one of the best things about being in Muncie, is seeing these guys, person to person, face to face. Stuart, and of course Phil. So Sparky, you were there, and that's really neat.
Yeah. You know, the high point
Charles
to
was
me,
there.
one of the high points to me was Les McDonald. I always
Oh,
love to see
absolutely.
Les. He is a true gentleman in every respect of the word. He's something else. And his
He
wife's
is.
as sweet as she can be.
Yep. You got it. I'm just trying to see what's going on here. Sparky, I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
Oh, that's all right. Gary, are you fiddling with your microphone? Because all we can hear is thump, thump, thump.
No, not really.
I know it's you because it lights up green and I hear thumping
Oh.
going on. I wonder what's wrong with your camera.
I don't know. I shut her completely down and took forever and brought it back up and it just won't. It comes on before I get hooked in. And when I get hooked in, then it puts the red line across it. And then
You think you might have a problem with the camera itself?
I don't know.
Go to
Would
settings.
show. I
Go
can
to-
see myself.
Go to settings and make sure that the camera is selected. You have to monkey around with the buttons on the bottom.
Sparky, are we still doing this Mondays and Fridays?
Yes,
Okay, got it.
the new time is 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 Central, 6 Mountain, and 5 o'clock Pacific.
There you go. That's good.
That staying awake till midnight is too much.
It is. Hey, Phil, have you, I'm sure Sparky has. Have you ever gone to the chocolate mousse in Muncie?
Yes, with who did I go with? Oh, yeah, we went with
It wasn't me.
we just mentioned him a minute ago. He's out of flying now.
Les McDonald.
No, not Les.
Yeah.
New Jersey, rather. Oh,
Wendy?
Wendy Ernowski.
Yep.
I'm telling you what, this medication, I get so frustrated because people I know and things I know, I just can't think of. It's the most frustrating thing I've ever done, I believe. But anyway, yeah, he took us over one evening. We went to the pizza place and got a pizza paia, and then went to the chocolate mousse and had a Sunday. He dared me to eat a float.
Yep.
It's I call it a banana split, but he called it something else. Anyway, he dared me to eat it, bet I couldn't eat that much ice cream. Well, I ate it. He said, if you can eat it, I'll pay for it. Well,
There you go.
He paid. I said, no, I can't eat bananas. I'm allergic to bananas, but I'll eat the rest of it. And I did.
You
But I'm
been
gonna
to
tell you one.
Camex Station?
I don't know. I don't know what they called it.
It's out in the
But
cornfield.
I can't remember, Sparky.
They
I
got-
can't remember.
They got Mayberry playing on the TV, 24/7. They got Barney Fife,
Oh.
the squad car out front.
That's
bunch of tractors.
that's weird.
That's Camex Station.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard, I didn't get there, but I heard it was really neat.
But the best
Oh, it's-
ice cream, Mark, is behind Super 8, and it's by the by a miniature golf course and a batting cage. That is the best ice
I
cream.
know just where you're talking about, and I didn't
I'll
go.
be darned. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, much better than Baskin Robbins and Tasty Freeze and all of it.
Right.
I thought it was frozen yogurt, but custard, frozen custard.
Yeah.
But they quit serving custard there, and they started making their own ice cream. And man, it's good.
Mm.
Well, I'll
Well,
try it next year.
I'll tell you what I was talking about, though, for those guys that don't know. It's about a 20-minute ride from AMA. And the first maybe mile is okay. Then you make a left turn at kind of a dead end. And then there's a road maybe a mile long, and then you get on a kind of a nice road. I think it's Route 32 into Farmville. So and all week I've been hitting these 100-car freight trains. I've never hit so many freight trains in my life. So I'm going out to have lunch with a few people, and I get on this little road, and as I get close, that damn gate goes down. I can't believe it. And here's two locomotives and cars forever. Turn off the car, waiting. So I can't believe my luck. And then the gate finally goes up. I go up to the main road, make a right, and now I'm 15 minutes away. And there's a parking lot right next to the Chocolate Moose. And you come into town, you go over a couple of rail tracks, and it's right there. And as I'm approaching the rail tracks, the gates go down again. It's the same damn train. So I'm sitting there. The only thing that made me feel better was that Kermit Payne's wife knocked on my window. It startled me. So what are you doing here? She said, we've been behind you the whole way. So we go in there. It's Jim Barry, myself, and Kermit and his wife and Bruce. And I look outside, and it couldn't have been a better couple coming in. It was Les and his wife.
Yeah.
So they sat down with us, and he has some of the best stories. Oh my gosh.
He does.
He's the real deal, and he's very humble. Extremely humble.
He's one of my favorite people, period.
Yeah.
Did you go to the candy store next to the Chocolate Moose?
Oh, I didn't. I forgot about that.
They got an old type candy store from the 50s that you can get candy, hard candy.
Oh man.
That's right. Yeah, you put it has those little bins, and it's great.
Yep.
All right.
I completely forgot about it.
Next year, Sparky, you got to show me some of these places. Because I'll forget
There's some
about
good places. You got to know where they are.
Yeah. I'll forget about them by next year. CRS is bad, but
yeah,
you got to show me some of this stuff next year.
This place he's talking about, last time I was there, had a black and white checkered floor and 50 style booths and a like a soda fountain there. Great.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh man.
Matter of fact, my first year, Sparky, my first year that I went to Chocolate Moose, apparently there was a tradition that Thursday afternoon, everyone would go over there for lunch with the big chocolate floats and hamburgers. So there were maybe 18 of us. It was a big group. And I got seated right next to, David was on one side, and the other side was Billy. And now that was fun to listen to these two guys talk.
That was.
Yeah. But
Billy always has some good stories, and so does David.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Stuart, did you get some good pictures of the Nats?
Great show the Nats were and the Worlds.
What's that, John?
Just what a great show the Nats was and the Worlds back to back, and I know how much that's probably dominated your life for goodness, who knows how long.
A year.
Can you take a deep breath now?
You know what, John, I'll tell you something. And some people know this, but you're supposed to have 2 years warning, 2 years notice after you're approved by the FAI of where the World Championship is going to be. They give you 2 years to get ready. And they couldn't find a country. The last one was Italy. Italy did not have a site that could handle all the 4 parts of F2. So I got a call by Bill Lee, the contest director. And he said, look, I'm thinking of asking AMA to put in a proposal. And I said, I think that'd be great. Well, that wasn't uniformly true about being great, meaning there were some guys, well-known guys I have a lot of respect for, who were very unhappy with the way the FAI handles judging at the World's Championship. They only allow, basically, it's a 2-circle format.
Right.
So you're out there for a long, long day when the Nats we have 4. So what happened was The combat folks said they'd love to do it. Team racing said they'd love to do it. And then speed said that, well, all that's left is F2B and F2B. So Bill said, what are your thoughts? And I said, well, I like to give the teams a chance to win the world championship, particularly ours, since they don't have to travel, not like overseas. So he said, well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to submit a bid, but I need to know who the event director is going to be. And he said, I need to know real quick. And he did, because we didn't have a lot of time. So I'm not going to stop calling guys, hey, will you run the worlds? Not many guys are going to say yes. So I put in my name, and I'll be damned if we didn't get it.
Yeah.
So, thank goodness I got a call one day from Paul, who's very knowledgeable about this stuff. And we picked, I guess the team was, one of the things you have to do is pick 6 judges. For those guys that don't know how this works, one can be from the home country that's sponsoring it. All the others have to be from different countries. And they have to be approved in FAI. They have to have their names with experience and be approved. And we got a good group. We like who we got. We're lucky we've got Joan Cox, which is close in Canada, one from Great Britain, one from Australia. I'll tell you who really surprised us was Igor. Igor Berger, who's the current world champion, came to judge. Yeah, came to judge. And he's a lot of fun to be around. And then it was a matter, okay, you need 2 circle marshals. You need a person who's going to be in charge of each circle, because at the Worlds, the judges do not keep the time. The circle marshal keeps the time. And the judges don't have to worry about when people come into the circle. The circle marshal makes sure they're in basically on a 3-minute interval. So it's different. And then what we did, the 2 circle marshals were awesome, Jim Hoffman and John Paris. They did a wonderful job. We had 2 runners who would bring in the score, Steve Smith and Mark Hughes. Then we had 2 guys on the test, on the pull test, Darrell Harvin and Bruce Jennings, Paul and myself. Then we had 3 great ladies in tabulation. One was one of the judges' wives or girlfriends, I guess girlfriend from France. She was lovely. John Hill's wife was there, Sheila. And who's the third? Oh, Colleen Gilbert. So all in all, and then we had to get.
You missed one person.
I'm sorry?
You missed one person. The best.
Who's that?
The best.
Who's that?
The best score poster I've ever seen. Kermit Payne.
Oh my God. That's, I'm glad you mentioned that. When all the positions were filled, Sparky, I think I was talking to Will one night, and I said, I'd like to have some more people coming, because you just don't, this is my first Worlds. And Kermit Payne, who's just a wonderful guy, said he'd be glad to stay with his wife, Ada. And this guy has handwriting that looks like it's from Roman times. It is.
He was a draftsman.
He was a draftsman.
It's so clean and perfect. People would come there, and you had no question about the clarity of it. It was very clean. But then, other things happened. His wife acted like my mother. She was worried about me. Sit down here, stop walking around. She's awesome. But I'll tell you how crazy things get. To me, and I just sent this out to everybody, Paul sent real nice notes out to about 8 people about the job they did. And I decided to put it all together in one, except for judges. And it was Doug, what's Doug's last name?
Moon.
No.
Doug Patterson.
Yes, Doug Patterson's wife, who helped me in 19 or 16, I guess, when I ran the Nats. She said, I think we should go out and buy some food, healthy snacks for these people. Some of them don't have them here. Some of them don't have a lot of money. They spent a fortune to get here. So she says to me, I said, what are you going to get? I said, I'll pay for it, but what are you going to get? She said, I think we should get a whole bunch of bananas. And I said, how many? She said, how about 100? So it just struck me funny. I've never bought 100 bananas in my life. So I said, look, whatever you spend, I'll give it to you. She comes back with 104 bananas. And then kind of like healthy, like fruit bars and things like that. So those kind of things are just, you just have the right people and their heads are in the right place. And we were lucky. We got a lot of compliments from people. Paul did, I did, everyone did. And to me, there were three things I was trying to accomplish. And the same with Paul. One was we got to put on a pro level contest. This has got to be as good as it can get. And we have the best site in the world. That LPAD with that surface, you can't do better. And the second thing was to make people who are coming here feel at home. I don't want them to feel like strangers or people getting in the way. I don't care what language they is. We got to treat them with respect. I would joke with as many of them as I could find and just lighten everything up. And the third thing that I was real proud of, I didn't do anything toward it. I formed a communications committee, I don't know, several months ago. And those people did an awesome job at live video like Sparky would do. We did a lot of photos. We're trying to keep people, what's going on. You can't have too much of that. And I think we accomplished all three. I really do. So at the dinner, I know it was recorded. It was live streamed, but if you didn't see the banquet, Bill Lee, who was the overall contest director, made a plea to everyone in the audience because, many of them are from foreign countries that we need another host. And AMA said, look, we're not going to wait 20 years to have it again, which was great news. But we need another country to step forward. And apparently the U.S. is one of the most expensive to get to because so many people have to fly. So, there are a bunch of teams that didn't come. There's political unrest. We don't invite Russia. The Ukraine men aren't allowed to leave. So there are some good teams that, couldn't show up. But it was, well, Spark was there. It was a solid week. The Nats was good. For those who, of us who work both, it's tiring, but I got to tell you, it was very gratifying. I'm glad I did it. I'm really glad Paul was there. And crazy things like when you have good friends, one of the questions was, do we have, the FAI recommends a series of height markers. Okay, and they're specifically placed, 8 of them on a circle, and they serve two purposes. One, it's basically a rod, and toward the top of the rod is a piece that may be 18 to 20 inches long and maybe 5 inches wide. And that's the low and the high of level flight. So it gives the judge a chance to see where people are flying. Okay. First of all, we had 3. And neither Paul and I really were anxious to use them. We wanted to go without them. And one of the judges wasn't real happy about that. I think, as a matter of fact, it was Igor. So what we compromised was, why don't we come up with 8? And we can use that during the warm-up flights in the morning when the judges are calibrating, their scoring. So we had a day to do this. So my roommate and a great friend, Bruce Jennings, said, what do you need? And I told him. He said, I'll build them tomorrow. He went to Home Depot or Lowe's, bought everything he needed, had them done. They were awesome. So every morning, it was usually Paul. If I got there early enough, I'd help him. We put up those 8. He put up the 8 where they needed to be. And as soon as the practice session was over, we took 6 down. Okay. We left 2 on opposite sides of the center to give the judge something to look for. But the other thing that these things do, the judges use them for the width of a maneuver. Okay. So if you have, I don't know what the circumference, I once figured out what the circumference of a circle is. It may be 400 and something feet. I'm not sure if that's a good number or not. But that's what they use them for. And they said to me, and I really haven't thought of it, one of them said to me, Mark, those poles are not for the pilots. If they want to use them, that's fine. They're for us. But the group was great, and they managed with the two. I had one question about scoring the whole contest. One. And it was about a variation between the judges. And when I looked at it, the high score for this guy happened to be from Igor, and it was probably 80 points higher than the other two. And I said, well, if you want me to normalize it, then Igor's score would have to go down. And he said, no, I don't want to do that. I said, look, we have a gap. We have a judge training program, but it's just getting going. And that is, it's not great, but that's not the worst I've ever heard of. So he was okay with that. Plus, he already made the top 15. So it was a great experience. Honestly, I'd do it again. But I don't know where the next one, I'm not going to be the event director. The closest might be a team manager or something. That's the only thing and Paul felt that way too, that, everything I've learned, I'll never use again. In November, I'll be 80. How long am I going to be around?
20
but
years.
It was a great experience. I had a lot of fun with the German team, the Italian team. We have pictures together. These people, they're awesome. Several husbands and wives, that both flew. Okay, and probably someone said, what was the highlight of it to me? Probably the young Chinese pilot who was awesome. She's probably, I don't know how old she is, 16, 17 maybe. And she flies a pattern, and you close your eyes, it's Dave. It's a person that good.
That young Chinese girl is a plastic surgeon.
Is she?
Yeah, she's not that young.
Oh, but she's a junior.
I don't know.
I think she is, but I could be wrong.
She's fluent female.
Oh, okay.
She had to have won female. She had to.
Oh, she did.
Yeah.
She's
so we ended up, the finish was going to be very close, and everyone knew it.
Yeah.
And Orestes lost by half a point. Half a point after, taking your best 2 rounds. And he took it very well, very gracious. The guy who won it is a charming Italian guy, fairly young, Marco. And they were really nice. And so I think everyone who wanted to have a good time did. One of the nice things for me selfishly was I was sharing a room with Bruce at the Marriott, and has a pretty big parking lot, and I pulled in one night, and there were a couple of cars in front of me, and I saw when the guys got out of those cars, it was the whole Chinese team. Of course, they take their airplanes out like everyone does and bring them to the room. So I was walking maybe 30 feet in front of them, and one of them said, Mark, turn around. We have something for you. So I turned around, and they gave me this really nice, kind of a reddish gift bag. And then there were some nice, I guess they were a pinwing of China. 2 real big containers of Chinese coffee, a little like brooch for a woman to wear. And and one of the guys who speaks fluent English said, we'd like you to come to China. Okay. And, I would do it if someone paid. I don't want to put out that kind of money. And I said, well, what's up? And he said, well, when you think about it, our governments are never going to get along. But we get along because we have something in common. We love model aviation. And we want to try to have some events in China. And you among some others like Paul, you know what you're doing. And I said, well, let's just stay in touch. So one of them already connected with me on Facebook. And I have 2 from Germany that connected, and one from Japan. And it was nice because I didn't initiate any of them.
See what they gave me?
Oh, there you go. I like that.
Gave me their flag.
Sparky, there might be a hidden camera in there somewhere.
Yeah, I know.
Where are you gonna fly that, Sparky?
Nowhere.
So I know I'm rattling on, but I thought I'd just share some things that
Well, I wanted you to,
weren't
Mark.
so
That's why I
obvious.
asked about it. It was such a job well done, back to back, the Nats and the Worlds, and really appreciated. And then Sparky did a great job of helping bring it to those of us who couldn't be there for the whole thing. It was fabulous.
Yep.
The competition
Yep.
was incredible. I mean, going into the last day, Orestes was first. You've already alluded to that. And as a
Yep.
team, we might have been sitting in first as a team. If not, we were darn close.
We were.
And then things just changed on the last day.
Yep. And I mean, we came in second in team. Nothing disrespectful about that. And
No.
second individual.
Yeah.
And in some of the other categories, combat was one. One of the Americans won a gold in that. It's pretty interesting to watch some of these other events. Team racing was crazy. Had a tremendous last race. Yeah. It was, and the AMA was very cooperative. The maintenance people had mowed the grass twice.
Complaint I got, Mark, and I meant to say something to you because it represents our country, is the crappers were full.
Well, I agree. And actually, it only took one phone call each time. I asked John Paris because he knows Roger, the maintenance. Of course, they don't do it. They call the company.
Yeah.
Every year I've been there that I've been associated with some kind of responsibility about the Nats, I keep talking to AMA. You can open up one of those crappers and there's a sticker that'll tell you its capacity. How many people can use one of these in a day?
Right.
And we're not even close. We're so far over. Maybe it's cheaper for them to give fewer porta potties and then have more dumps. But when you have that many people, one day it's pretty much over. And you know the deal. And Sparky, I don't know if you know this, but it was ironic. The middle one said women on it.
It had a urinal in it.
It was the only one with a urinal.
Yeah.
So the others didn't have urinals.
That's the one I used. I used the ladies' room.
So
I did too, because it had the urinal.
That's it. So people were real nice. We were concerned as the week went on, people would have more of a game face. They'd be harder to talk to. They weren't. They really weren't. When they got in the circle, they were serious. When they were practicing, they were serious. We just have the biggest issue that we had was unrestrained electric powered airplanes. And that's a safety issue. And I called Bill Lee one day and I said, Bill, I'm having a meeting in 10 minutes at the circle. He said, what kind of meeting? You don't have meetings. I said, no, I'm having a meeting. And I got all the pilots and team leaders together outside at 8:30. We'd started flying at 8. And I said, look, and Paul's there too, of course. There are airplanes sitting on the line. They have no visible disconnect. Okay, and we've already seen one launch forward. The handler took his hands off and it ran to the back of his legs. No one was hurt. And, including someone who's on hero locks, there's no switch. You have to, you can't find it. So, we said what we want them to do was when the flight's over, the handler takes the airplane, puts it down in the pits, puts it down on the edge of the circle, wherever he's going to pull it down, and holds it. Never lets go of it. The pilot puts down the handle. They get together. One of them holds it, and the other one disarms it. What we wanted them to do was take the battery out. That was the only way we felt safe. Some did, some didn't. Paul and I, we took, and so did John Paris and Jim. We were monitoring this on the line. We were watching them because it's a disqualification. Mm-hmm. And you don't want to be at that level, spending all that money and be disqualified. So we worked on that. It was a safety issue. You can't let that go. Yes, sir, Dennis.
First off, congratulations, and it's like all the months you've been working, and it's like tonight, Mark is free, so that's great. Second off, on that electric, is there in the FAI system, is there a rule that's comparable to our electric restraint rules or disarming rules? It
Great
could
question.
be, my guess is that they don't do it because they don't have to do it. And, you know, there's no requirement or rule or something.
It is not addressed anywhere.
All right.
So, you know, one of the things that Paul's used to, I had to get used to, was there's something called an FAI jury.
Yeah.
And those are the three people that walk around. I knew one of them, and just cite what's going on and evaluate what you're doing. And if there's a problem, they'll come back and talk to you. And it's also where complaints and arbitration and all that goes, and it stops at their level.
Right.
And we kept looking at the rule book. There was nothing.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we instituted basically an AMA rule, but you can't enforce that at the FAI. It's
Yeah,
their
it would
rules.
be, it would be difficult. I think there's probably ways you can do it, because I think the radio people have done some things where they've regulated frequencies and things like that. Different countries had different rules on what you could use and stuff. But yeah, it sounds like, well, I don't know. Maybe the American representative needs to make a presentation to the CIAM, I think it is, the rules making body, and and suggest that you know that's part of it. So
that's a good point. They're behind. I guess electrics come on pretty strong. One of the judges is one of those on the committee.
Yeah.
And he promised that, you know, he would take care of that and move it along. Interesting about technology. This happened to be with the Chinese team, and it was twice, and it was both times I got involved, and Paul may have got involved too, but, you know, I don't know, and he doesn't know. We didn't, you know, when he compared notes on it. But they came over to me first time and showed me what looks like, you know, just a little small square box with two buttons. And what that would do would be turn on and turn off the electric motor from the pilot wirelessly. Okay. And they said, what are your feelings about that? He said, we use that all the time. And I said, well, I have a problem with it. And the problem I have, and Paul is exactly the same. You hit the button that says off. Is it disarmed? What happens if someone touches the other button? Just accidentally touches it. So again, it's not covered. It doesn't say you can't do it. It's just not addressed. And the last one, you know, it's reasonable. The Chinese gentleman who speaks just very, very well, very fine English said, is it okay with you if we use a wireless transceiver between the pilot and the coach? So when someone is practicing, the coach can talk to him, you know, and make adjustments. I said in practice. Yeah, I said in practice, I don't have any problem with it at all. He said, what about in the event? I said, no. Paul said, no. That's an unfair advantage. And as far as I know, they didn't. You know, I think they were trustworthy. But they have the plane of choice by far was the shark, the Yashenko shark. And if it wasn't that, it was something that looked like it. So the processing, which was Monday, I guess, I think it was myself and Paul. I'm sorry?
It was Monday.
Yeah, it was Monday.
Because I got there Sunday and it was next day.
And Kermit, basically, the people have to come to us with a piece of paper, 8.5 by 11, that is completed except for what we look for in processing. Has to have an FAI stamp and all that stuff. So what we did, we got into the habit of every one. We asked, did you build this airplane? If the answer was yes, we'd ask them, do they want to be entered in the concourse? And if the answer was this, yes, we put a C on this big piece of paper that we kept for our record. So we had a set, FAI has rules, actually it's square, that a F2A airplane, I think, has a maximum length of maybe 77 inches, which isn't a problem.
48
But the
isn't it?
same, 78,
48.
Yeah, 2 meters.
2 meters at 78.
So 78
and-
inches.
Yeah, both ways. So we
Mhm.
just put a piece of tape on the table. That's how we knew if the airplane. And then we had a scale, a very accurate scale. Electrics had to have the battery. And I did maybe a 1.5 minute safety check on every airplane. I checked the gear, I checked the prop, I checked for the tightness of the motor. I try to gently, but with a little firmness, see if I could pull out a hinge. You know, those kind of things. There were a couple of take apart airplanes that the vertical stab wasn't tight. And I said, you know, you just can't fly it this way. And yeah, we forgot to tighten it. Well, probably in the event of flying, they probably remember. But you just have to do that. So we ended up, I think, registering 69 airplanes. And a lot of those were people would bring 2. Some brought just 1, but some people brought 2. I think everyone on our team had 2. And the idea of the concourse was optional. And I thought we should have it because we're a country that, you know, we're a builder of the model. So it ended up with about 17 airplanes.
That were sharks? How many of those guys that were builder of the model were sharks?
None.
Okay.
None. The one, and I'll tell you, Spark, it's a good question. One thing I noticed, I picked up every airplane. The other 2 judges were Jim Hoffman and John Paris. And they were a little hesitant to pick up the airplane, but I'm careful, I picked them up. I was surprised how many of them were open bay Monaco. I guess for weight, but that was an easy way to figure out, is it an ARF or not? You know, because the ARFs that I'm aware of are all composite, they're all molded. A couple of people, a Polish guy, a real nice guy, said, I don't know if I qualify.
So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Did Orestes say he built his airplane? Was he entered in concourse?
He was entered.
Huh?
He did enter.
He did.
He did. And I know where you're going. The whole problem with concourse and builder of the model, if there is a problem, is you have to have people who are going to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes you look at an airplane and you're really not sure. It just looks so good, you know, that you just wonder if it came out of the mold that way. So all we can do is just say, are you the builder? So the kid from Poland said, I said, was it painted? And he said, it had one color on it. I said, okay, so it came with components. He said, yes. So I said, did you completely build the wing from beginning to end, including painting and including installing the control system?
No.
He said, no. I said, okay. How about the fuselage? He said, no. So I said, no, you can't be in the concourse. He said, that's okay. I just didn't know what the rule was. A lot of planes, yeah, there were a bunch that I knew I've seen before, and I knew they were built. We got it down to 3 airplanes, and we ended up choosing Chris Cox's Hellcat. We know, everyone in the world knows that was scratch built because you had videos and all kinds of documentation on it. The gentleman, Constantine from Canada, had a beautiful airplane that he built. There were probably 4 that were just, you know, you'd die for. But you could see that it wasn't, it didn't come out of the box that way. We could figure that out. So I'm glad we had it, and we got to get a trophy for Chris. The people in FAI that I met were very nice. And it was interesting, Paul and I had a couple of situations where the pilot technically should have been disqualified. And when we came up with that, the guy from FAI came around because we wanted to talk to him about it. And his take on it was, if you do not do that, I think it would be better for everybody, as long as it's not a screaming safety violation. So when I had that 8:30 meeting enforcing the rules on electric, that morning, someone broke it. I mean, they broke the rule. And Paul wanted to disqualify him, which was the right thing. And the FAI guy said, can you do me a favor? Let's make this 8:30 meeting. the drop dead point.
Pilot that did that infraction was from Italy, because I was standing there when Paul chewed him out.
Yes, he did. Yeah, he did. So, thank goodness Paul was there, but everyone on the team, they really worked well. Really worked well. The ladies, there was like no wait. When you flew, we have 2 runners that were awesome. That they would bring, we didn't use what we do with the Nats. We used one piece of paper. The judge gives it to you. The guys would come in with all the judge's sheets and make yellow copies of them. So one of the ladies would use the yellow copy to input the scores. The other lady would use the white copy that the judges did to input the scores. And then once they double checked, then we'd put the yellow ones in a box for the pilot to take. So the runners had one extra step to make the copies. And the guys were Steve Smith, Mark Hughes, the guys were great. So it was just a great group. It really was. I got lucky, some people volunteered, some I asked. And there were very few who said no. You try to ask someone that you'd be comfortable working with. And so, John, that's probably an hour answer to a short question, but
I appreciate it.
no problem.
I was thinking
it's fresh
about
in my mind right now.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
The infraction that you mentioned, was that just an oversight or someone not wanting to comply?
That's a good question, because the question that Paul and I kept wondering about was it a language problem or was it an attitude problem? For example, there was a very nice team from Mongolia. To some of them, it was really difficult to communicate. Lovely people. So you don't really know if the person is just doing it the way they always do it, if they're being defiant, or they just don't understand what we're saying. So I think if I were to do it again, I'd use something like, what's it called, Google Speech, and try to get translations. The Chinese had that. When I talked to them, they gave me what looked like a little cell phone. And they plug in English. I would talk into it, they hit Chinese, and it comes out Chinese. So we have this conversation with these short delays, but it made a lot of sense. They have a lot of technology. They told me they've been practicing for a month every day before they got there. Really nice uniforms, very professional, young team, and we're sure they're sponsored by the Chinese government.
Of course.
China has this thing, they want to be the best. So if you want the best in precision aerobatics, you're going to have to pay these people and pay for their flights. They were staying in the same hotel, nice hotel. They were very nice, very respectful. And all the teams were that way.
Where'd you say you stayed, Mark?
The Marriott Courtyard. It's right next to the convention center.
Yeah,
where
downtown.
The dinner was. Yep, downtown. And even the regular rate wasn't that terrible. It was like maybe $140 a night, $130, and Bruce and I were splitting it, so it was reasonable. It's an expensive visit because every meal you're eating out. Mm-hmm. The smart people, and this is getting to be very popular, are renting Airbnbs. That way they can go to a grocery store, have a house. And I think it was Joe Gilbert said, I think the average person that stayed with them, they had maybe 4 or 6, saved like $700 for the week. That's a big savings. Now I'll tell you, they were nice enough that they let. Well, Chacha, was it you that stayed with them?
Yes.
You and Charles.
Yeah.
Right, for what, 1 night, 2 nights?
No.
Best way to do it is to get a bed and breakfast.
Well, you could do that too.
And here's the translate. You got the translator right there. Listen close. You hear that?
There you go.
Mhm.
I don't know if you can hear it, but I'll do it one more time.
I did.
最好的方法是买一个床和早餐。
And that's what I said.
Easy for you to say, Sparky.
Yeah. Everybody's got a translator if you got a cell phone.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. So I would encourage people, if you can get to the next one, or if we can get it back here soon, if you didn't go, try to go.
Next time, go. Because it is amazing.
It's worth it. And the quality of the flying is it's really impressive. There were probably maybe 20% of the airplanes were glow, and that might be high. There were counter-rotating props. There was a lot of stuff going on.
2 strokes, 4 strokes, pipes, mufflers.
One thing for certain is 95% of them were sharks.
Oh, absolutely. It was amazing. I don't know who it was, but I think it may have been Les McDonald. He said, you know what, it looks like a shark attack.
Mm-hmm. I kept hearing the term Sharknado.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, great experience.
Have
Gordon,
there been any
say?
grumblings on the next location, Mark?
No. Right now, I'm just about positive they don't have anyone.
Wow.
And there's been a rumor that FAI is considering doing it every 4 years. I don't know if that's true or not, but I took the judges out to dinner one night and their spouses, those that had spouses with them. And they agreed with me that that's a bad idea because there are too many people in that age group that if they wait 4 years, there's no way they can do it. It's not all 20-year-olds, you know that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I hope it continues for a long time. It's a great event, and you meet some people. And there's a great story. The German couple told me this. I said, have you ever been to Muncie before? They said, yes, 2006 or 7. They were both flying an RC pylon race, husband and wife. And they met a couple that they just connected with, and they live in South Dakota. And since that year, every other year, one couple travels to the other. And they said, what are the odds that a couple from Germany is traveling, to South Dakota? But that's the beautiful thing about an event like this.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't know who you're going to run into.
That's neat. That is really neat.
It is. And again, we had a great team. Having Paul there was huge. I think the team complemented, our strengths and opportunities. And
hey, look who's here.
Who's there?
Len Burrell.
Morning, guys.
Hey, Lynn.
Len.
Mark, hey, how are we doing?
Doing great.
Congratulations on a great week, Len.
Well, thank you very much. I really had a great time too, and it was amazing.
Great.
That's all I can say. It was amazing.
I'll tell you something. Len flew very well.
Lynn did.
Thank you.
The level of competition is really, really high.
Thank you very much.
I got to tell you, the best time I had every day was visiting the Canadian tent with Len and what looked like his wife, but Naomi. She was so much fun to be around. They're a great couple, and we made each other laugh every day.
What it's about.
I enjoyed talking to your coach too. One of your coaches, Kim. He is a blast, and that guy's a wealth of knowledge.
He has a lot of knowledge, yes.
Very neat guy.
Is that Kim Doherty was with you?
Yeah, that's it.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yeah, he was a lot of fun.
Len, when did you get back? When did you get back?
We got back yesterday about 3:30 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh, good.
It was a good drive home. No issues. No trouble at the border. They let us out or back in, depending on how you want to say it.
If you do it the way I do it, put it in the baggie with butter. Takes 5 minutes.
What's that, Gordon?
What's that?
What'd you say?
Oh, it's we're just expecting Dave Fitzgerald to show up here pretty quick.
Ah,
So we got Bart Penske and Dave.
Turn on your camera.
I don't know how. I've tried.
Wait, two guys with a problem.
Bart is already back.
I
My
couldn't
word.
get it up. Last Friday, I couldn't get it up.
You guys need a 12-year-old. You and Gary Sinclair need to get your 12-year-olds grandsons or granddaughters over and they'll fix it for you.
Yeah, if my daughter is here, I'm sure she could. She's very computer savvy.
Yeah.
hey,
Hi,
Well,
Phil.
I bet, Gordon, I'll bet that Bart is going to drop off that Mustang over there for you to build.
Oh, well, that's possible, but you'll have to get in line.
Yeah.
He's going home with me. My next project is going to be the Blue Max.
oh, all right.
Yeah,
I've got a K77. I thought it'd be very appropriate for it. And my wife bought it for me in 1995.
it took you long enough.
Yeah, I finally had Brent get it down off the closet shelf. And
I looked at it today. It's a beautiful kit.
Yeah, I looked at one of them at the Worlds, and that white one with the blue and purple. Man, that was a pretty airplane.
yeah, I saw pictures of it. Thanks
Yeah, remember, Bart, when you come back on, we want to see progress on the Mustang.
Well, I got a couple projects to go first. I told everybody that. But I've got one I can't really talk about right now, and then I've got to get my own airplane plus a Mustang going. So.
Well, and he made me a promise he'd
got to finish the twin.
Finish the twin. You know, it got wrecked when it was brand new. And it's already a pain if I can just get him in gear. Quit chasing the women, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Have a good night, guys. I'm leaving.
All right.
Ciao, ciao. It was great to see you at the World.
Ciao, ciao.
Yeah. Hey, Len, I saw you at the Worlds.
You betcha.
I
had
saw
a
you
great
there.
time. It was awesome.
Well, I sure
Gordon,
did.
it was awesome. Just a great time. Great time, great contest, great organization. I have nothing but great things to say about it. Everything about it was fantastic.
Yeah, I wish you could have been there.
Outstanding. Yeah, I wish you could have been there too. It was a great time.
Yeah, thanks to Sparky, I was able to see a lot of my friends there on video.
Well, I'll tell you, thanks to Sparky from everybody, because you know, Sparky, you did an awesome job. Great work.
He
Much
did,
appreciated.
Special thanks for Sparky as well.
You know, and especially trying to carry that camera around for what 40 something.
Sparky ran himself ragged for days.
253 flights I filmed.
Oh, exactly. You ran yourself ragged for days. I watched you.
He looked like Thursday when I left, one of the last people I talked to was Sparky. And honest to goodness, he looked like a sunburnt, ragged, pooped out little feller. He was, I
got burnt pretty good.
Yeah, I bet you did.
Yeah.
Sparky
That's
looked like he
because-
was ready to go somewhere and lay down.
That's because Sparky was running after this 18-year-old Chinese chick.
That's it. That's it. That's it.
And broadcasting it.
He's
And
smart.
broadcasting it.
I tell you what, she was worth chasing. She was an amazing pilot.
Well, she was.
Yeah, flying a shark.
Still is.
Well, I'm sure she still is. I'm sure we'll see her again because she was very good. And
Did anybody, Phil,
her
did
coach-
you count how many sharks was there?
Yeah. Yeah,
How
when
many?
I got there Sunday, there was 27 airplanes on the field. There was 2 R3s. There was 4 wooden airplanes. Two of them were Blue Maxes. The other,
Yeah.
one of them was Lens and one of them was something else. I can't remember. The rest of them, 19, were Sharks.
Wow. Well, they look like they fly good.
They do.
Gordon, it reminded me of the 70s. You know, when you went to a contest in the early 70s and every airplane was a ringmaster, I mean, was a Nobler. That's how it felt. Seriously.
Yeah.
Maybe put me back to being a teenager and looking at 40 different Noblers. And here and there's a Cobra or a Argus or a, you know, something different, or Aries, but most of them were Noblers. Well, this time most of them were Sharks or something that looked so darn close to a shark you didn't know it wasn't a shark.
Right.
But they flew so well, man. Those things.
Yeah. Got to watch Arrest's flight on video. There was like pretty awesome.
He is incredible.
Brent Williams says howdy.
I really had a hard time believing that anybody beat Orestes. I did not see the flight that beat him, but I did see the guy fly that beat him. He's very nice, very personable. He deserves it because if he beat Orestes, he deserves it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, guys, let me wrap up the YouTube channel, and I'll let Denny take over. Really appreciate you guys watching on YouTube. We have this every Monday and Friday night, 7 o'clock Central, and we'll see you tomorrow. Fair winds, tight lines. And now before you start going, let me get signed off here. Let's see here. I gotta go here.
Hey, before you sign off there, Sparky, what are you buffing?
Mufflers and spinners.
Ah.
Man, I can't get signed off here. This stupid thing.
Well, I guess you're stuck with us.
No, I gotta sign the YouTube. Let's see, I want to go to. Oh, I'm here. Duh. Content. Content. And live. And we got to go to here. Alrighty. Once again, thanks for watching. We'll see you next Friday, 7 o'clock Central.
Okay. Thanks for the video.
Oh, no problem. See ya.
You have a good night.
Thanks, Bart.
Okay, we are signed off of YouTube. I'm going to hand this over to Dennis. He's going to be your host until you guys get tired.